this is the only motorcycle I've ever ridden. And they wouldn't even let me ride it out on stage. They wanted to let somebody else do it. I'm like, really? Because that would be the coolest part. So just pretend I rode this out here just now. Yeah. Hi, baby. You know what? There's something about a motorcycle that just makes you feel tough. There's something about the right friends that just make you feel invincible. And you're in a room full of the right friends right now. Come on, can I get a what's up? You know, that's crazy because in a world we are more connected than ever. Okay, quick question. Who's got your phone? Hold up your phone. Right? So you can call somebody right now. You can text somebody right now. You can post on Facebook. You can read a status. You can get on TikTok. You can learn 10 ways to do this. You could learn how to do your makeup, like, in the next 30 seconds. Like, somebody told me today, we were like, how do you lay tile in a shower with a checkerboard? I don't know. You could Google it or TikTok it. In a world we have been never more connected than ever. Connection is right here. 52% of Americans say they're lonely. 47% of people say they are in relationships that are not meaningful, which really hurts my feelings because I have like a whole lot of Facebook friends. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, those suckers aren't even sending me Christmas cards. So what is connection? Everybody say connection. The stat that got me, and I was like, not on my watch. I don't want this to happen anymore. It said 50% of people said they eat all their meals alone. So how can we be more connected than ever and feel more lonely than ever? So I started reading these stats, and I'm like, we're going to fight this devil. People are not going to feel alone. They are not going to feel isolated. They are not going to feel unconnected. They are not going to feel like they have no one to pray with. We are going to have a girl gang. They are going to be fierce. They are going to be strong. We're going to realize there's plenty of room at the top. You don't have to pull nobody down to make a room for you to go up. We're going to cheer on people when they start doing good. I mean, I was going to cheer on people. I don't know about y'all. You're kind of quiet. But I mean, I was saying we're going to cheer on people when they're doing good. And we're going to hope they go higher than we do so somebody can show us the hole in the fence and how to get there. So tonight I want to give you handles. Everybody say handles. I'm going to give you 3 things that make people friends. 3 ways to make better friends. And 3 levels of friendship. I'm going to teach you who to cultivate and who to cut. Because there's so many people in the world. You can't spend time with everybody, so who are your people? So are you ready to jump into this thing? Because I didn't come here to waste your time. I came here to give you a circle. And there's circles in life. There are circles in relationship because you can't do relationships shoulder to shoulder. David Crank, you're cute. Come here, baby. Mm-hmm. Bow, bow, bow. Yeah, baby. What'd you say?
I said I have no clue what's going to happen, but
I know, because if I would have told you, you wouldn't have been surprised. There's 2 ways you can do relationship, and a lot of people do relationship this way. How many people, hey, let's hang out. Let's go watch a movie. Who's a movie watcher? Raise your hand. Let's watch Netflix together. Come over and we're going to watch something on the couch. How many people go to ball games and watch a ball game together, a sports game together, right? Those relationships are called shoulder to shoulder. So stand shoulder to shoulder with me. Now, don't do anything tricky. I told you, don't do nothing tricky. Don't grab my butt in front of everybody again. But how many of you know it would be hard for me to be intimate or to kiss him from this position, shoulder to shoulder? And that's how a lot of times we do relationships, we do events, we get together to have relationship, we get together to have friendship, we get together to have frientimacy. But we do it shoulder to shoulder, and we don't end up any closer than we did in the first place. But a lot of us, how many of you are face-to-face? You're at, let's go to coffee. Let's go to lunch. Let's sit and let's get around a table and talk about some stuff. Because y'all know that girls have all the words, right? Like you asked me a story, I'm going to tell you all the words. I'm going to tell you where I came from, what kind of car I was driving, what my hair looked like that day, the Spanx I did or did not wear based on what was in the laundry, and maybe some of my laundry's not clean. You're going to know that too. Can I get an amen? But if we get face-to-face, cover your children. What's face-to-face? I don't think you did it right. Well, you should try it again. No, go face-to-face. There you go. If we go oh, you got lipstick all over your face. It's a good thing it's mine. But if we're face-to-face, how many of you can see the intimacy level goes up? I can see in his eyes. I can see in his soul. And I can steal a kiss. Hey, king. You be the king of my castle. So we've spent so much life shoulder to shoulder. And right now, at church, we're shoulder to shoulder. That's why you can't run out after the event. That's why we're making bracelets. That's why the coffee shop is open. That's why we're offering temporary tattoos. That's why we're offering some other tattoos. That's why we got photo ops, because we want you to get face to face. Everybody say face to face. So three things right now that make people friends. Like, how do we end up with the people in our life anyway, right? So this is how do we end up with these people? This is what to do so you end up with the right people. This is what to do. So number one is consistency. You end up friends with somebody because you get around them a lot. If you don't want to marry somebody, don't ever go on the first date. Right? You keep dating them and you think, well, we've been dating a while. Now we got to become boyfriend and girlfriend. We've been boyfriend and girlfriend a while. I guess we got to get engaged. We've been engaged for a while now. I guess we got to get married. And you you were never excited about it. It was the next thing. It's just you were consistent. Everybody say consistent. Because the thing about consistency is the more you're around somebody, the more you get to know them. Right? Like I brought a slide. Like the first time you eat with somebody, it looks like this. Right? I'm going to use my fork and my knife. I'm even going to put my napkin in my lap. I'm going to take small bites and try and not get spinach in my teeth. I'm not going to eat the chicken on the bone. I'll get the breast of chicken, which I hate because it's so dry. But it's our first time, so I want to look good. And then you got your friends. You've been consistent. You've been spending time together. They've been coming over. They help themselves to the refrigerator. You have a meal together, and you look a little more like this. Right? What to do to make friends? You just get consistent. You get consistent, you're going to get around them. You're going to feel like you can be you, and you can figure out if you like them. So number one is consistency. Everybody say consistency. Number two, what do you do to make friends? Number two is proximity. Proximity, when you're close to people. This is why people end up friends with the people they go to school with. How many of you had friends in high school that you don't have today? Why? Proximity. How many people you had friends at your first job that you used to hang out with, but you don't know those people anymore, you don't know them today? Why were they your friends then? Proximity. So you go to church. How many remember the very first church you went to and you don't know those people anymore? Right? Why not? Proximity. The people you are in proximity with, the people you're close to, are the people you end up being friends with. Guys, pay attention to this because this is a really big deal. Where you going, girl? Where are you going? Because the quality of the people where you at are the people that you're going to end up with. I remember I had a job, and it was in healthcare, and there was this one guy in our department, and it's when email was kind of new. Wow, I just totally dated myself since I'm 25. And it was kind of new, and this guy, when somebody's just got a little bit of an attitude towards you? Like, you can even hear their toot in email, and they're just kind of snippy and bippy, and like, what did I ever do to you, buddy? And I'd only been there a month or two, and finally one day, we're on email, and I'm trying to get an answer, and he responded, "I'm sorry today, I'm just raining on the inside." And I was like, Amy Grant. I know Amy Grant. I'm raining on the inside. How's the next line go? I knew it back in the day because this was more than 5 minutes ago. Does anybody know the next line? No, I think it's like my heart is full of tears that start to flow. So I emailed him back the next line, and he emails me back, you know Amy Grant? Like, Amy's my girl. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Elyon Adonai. Oh, yeah, no, Amy Grant. I play her Christmas album every year. We start, like, ripping about Amy Grant. You're a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. What do you mean? You're not a Christian? No, I am a Christian. I didn't know you love Jesus. I love Jesus. Here we are, Mr. Snippyhead and I. Because we were in proximity in the same department talking, we strike up this friendship that a few months later, I'm like, man, you really gave me a hard time when I first got a job here. He's like, yeah, I knew when I saw you, you were a jerk. And I'm like, well, we're like buddies now. He's like, yeah, I just got used to you. I just like you. I don't know, maybe I was wrong. Everybody say proximity. You get around somebody enough, you're going to find the third thing is commonality. Things you have in common. What is it that brings you together? Makes you like-minded, things you have in common. You go to your kid's sports game, you go to your kid's sports game. What do you have in common? A kid that plays sports. You go to church, they go to church. What do you have in common? Jesus. You're a person of faith, they're a person of faith. What do you have in common? God. You're a single mom, they're a single mom. What do you have in common? You had to be, kids and everything that happens. You're a woman, I'm a woman, we're a woman. What do we have in common? Lips and hips, baby, lips and hips. That's why we got the dots on your tag. So if you're in the building, not online with us, everybody should have got a name tag. And on your name tag is some little dots, right? Because dots are one color if you're a mom, another color if you're single mom, another color if you're single, another color if you're outdoorsy, another color if you're a foodie. You can look around because I can see Rachel right there. I don't even have to see her tag. I know Rachel's a foodie. We bond over food. Like, we can talk about scones and she can cook them. We have a great relationship. She cooks, I eat. So you can look at those dots after the event. If you're online with us right now, put it in the chat. What are you? What kind of things do you have in common, people? What are your hobbies? Because even online, we need to develop relationship. And you can have a commonality even in adversity. So I have this one friend, and I love stories to start with. So what happened was I was dating this guy. We'll call him Zeke, because I don't know anybody named Zeke. So we'll call him Zeke. So I was dating this guy named Zeke. Not when I was married to Pastor David. Relax, this was years and years ago. A couple years before I even met him, it was years ago. So I was dating this guy named Zeke. I had a friend named Heather. I was telling Heather all about Zeke and where we went and what we did and how much fun it was and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Heather would go to work, and she would sit with her friend Deborah. And Deborah's like, you're not going to believe it. I met this guy. He's so much fun. She started talking about this guy, and it seemed like she was saying the same dates and the same places and the same. And she's like, what's this guy's name? She said, oh, his name is Zeke. So my friend Heather listens to this for a couple of weeks, and then she finally comes to me and she says, I think I have something to tell you. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think you might be interested. I've got a friend at work. She's dating a guy named Zeke. You all been going on the same dates, about the same times. I think you and my friend ought to talk. How many of you know I already don't like this new girl I don't know? So I have every reason in the world to hate person I don't know because she's stolen a boyfriend from me, right? So I call up the little, okay, we're in church. Let me edit my language. Girl. Call up the little girl. And I'm like, can you tell me? And so we start talking, and yeah, last name. We're dating the same guy. Well, what I found out in that moment, everybody say commonality and adversity. What I found out is I didn't hate her. I hate him. What she realized is she doesn't hate me. She hated him. So what happened was, we knew where he worked. So he told me, hey, come meet me after work. And I said, okay, better yet, why don't I just meet you at work when you get off? He said, okay, I'll see you there. Bye. I'm like, bye. I called my friend Deborah. I said her name. Oh, well, she's my friend. I actually told her I was going to tell the story, invited her to come tonight, but her son is coming in town with her grandbaby because we're 25. And so she couldn't come. So I called Deborah and I said, okay, I'm going to meet him at work. What you doing? Can you come? And she's like, girl, I am taking off work. So Deborah and I got in the car together. We walked into his place of work together. We saw his face together. And then we left on Friday night, Deborah and I, together. And that was the first of our many nights going out, having fun, being friends, to the fact where we still talk today, almost 30 years later. Since I'm 25. Commonality in adversity. Don't always look at adversity as a bad thing. Adversity can be a really good thing. It can be one of those reasons that we really start to thrive in a friendship. So number one was 3 things that make people friends. Is this okay with you tonight? Are you finding this helpful? Okay, because the second thing we're going to talk about is the 3 ways to make friends. How many of you could use a couple of quality friends? Like some really good ones. So this is what you do so you end up with the right people. Because a lot of us, we don't want just like a friend that like, okay, you're my friend on Facebook, or I show up at work and like we heat up our food in the microwave together, but then it's shallow. We're a shoulder-to-shoulder relationship. We need some people that we have a friend-intimacy with. So how do we do that? Especially like if we don't come from a good family or we don't come from a good friend group. If you don't come from a good family or come from a good friend group, just create one. Just make one of your own. Be the one who starts it. Because don't worry about your family, because I heard it said once that friends are God's apology for your family. So it doesn't matter where you came from. It just matters where you're going to. So the 3 ways to make friends. Number 1, girl, you got to be positive. Like, you cannot be a Karen. And if your name is Karen, I'm sorry, I'm not calling you out. Like, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you know what I mean by don't be a... Nobody wants to be friends with Karen. Karen is going to embarrass you in the line at TJ Maxx. Karen is going to embarrass you with the server at the restaurant. Karen's going to make you want to get out of the movies because she's going to yell at the guy behind you and you're going to be afraid that they're going to throw popcorn in your hair. No, you got to be positive. Matter of fact, one of my very best friends, actually, is my phone handy right now? Can I grab my phone? I didn't prepare. See, I don't like to prepare people for things because if I prepare people for things, everybody's totally ready. And then it's not spontaneous. It's not fun. I'm not scared it's going to fail. That part was funny. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I forgot. Oh.
Hello?
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just sitting here. What are you doing?
Are you done with music rehearsal yet?
Yes, I am.
So where are you at?
I'm at Peking Restaurant.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, want to come?
I do. Hey, everybody, this is Saint Hope Snyder.
Hey, everybody. Woo!
And I knew you had music rehearsal right now, but you are such a good friend to me. I knew if I called you, even in the middle of music rehearsal or in the middle of dinner with your husband, you were going to answer your phone.
Absolutely. You got it.
I love you.
This wasn't even planned. I love you too.
I'll talk to you later. Bye. No, it wasn't planned, but look. Woo. Oh, don't be scared. It's got a control. It's like cover on it and stuff. Poor Julie, she's freaking out right now. She said that was not planned. I've been friends with Hope for 13, 14 years. And I knew if I called her, she was going to answer the phone. If I call her at 3 in the morning, she's going to answer the phone. If I'm in the middle of a meeting that is tense or something really important is happening, I see her calling, I'm going to sneak out of the meeting. I'm going to answer the phone. Why? Because I am positive that she is a good influence in my life. I am positive that she's a better friend to me than I am to her. If you want positivity, you got to sow. So you need a fun friend, right? So I have this fun friend. Her name was Jennifer. It was back in my life. I was single at the time. And there's a night I am never going to forget. And it's not because we went and saw like Taylor Swift in concert or we got front row seats to a Cardinals game. It's because we took a road trip to Chicago. She's a nurse and she gets off work. She works second shift. She got to work at 11 o'clock. We needed to make a 4 or 5 hour drive. So we got our energy drinks, we got in the car, and we tried to keep each other awake. So the way that we decided to keep each other awake is there was this tractor trailer that was driving down the road, and on the sign, on the side of the trailer, it said Millis. I will never forget the name of that truck in all of my life. I don't know what the Millis company is. I don't know what they sell. They're not even giving me money for this commercial right now. But we would pass that truck, and then we're girls, man. We had to stop at a lot of gas stations, go to the bathroom, get more drinks, get snacks, because you cannot be on the road without your Sour Patch Kids. I'm just saying, like, and we needed more Diet Mountain Dew. And then we drank so much Mountain Dew, we had to stop and go to the bathroom. So the game was we would pass Millis. When we passed Millis, we'd do this. And he'd go, because we were in a convertible at 2 a.m. because... So we would get off the highway. I guess he would pass us because sure enough, 20 minutes later, we would come up on Millis. So then it became a game because we'd be like, Millis! And he'd go, honk, honk, ah! Let's go to the bathroom. We passed Millis 20 times that night. It was one of the most fun nights of my life. I will never forget it. And it was an uneventful road trip to Chicago. Look at the person next to you and say, will you be one of my positive friends? 3 ways to make friends. What to do so you end up with the right people. Number 2, okay, positive friends was fun. This one, I'm going to stick you a little bit. Alrighty? You ready for this? We got to be vulnerable. You can't have a real friend and not be real. And being real means you can't win all the time. Like, even if you're really good at Monopoly, you got to lose sometimes on purpose. You can't be like, I'm cheating to play checkers, or like, I'm sniping the Monopoly money, or no. We need vulnerability. Until we are brave enough to take our mask off with somebody and say hard things. Why is Hope Snyder one of my best friends? Because she's told me hard things. I've told her hard things. And they didn't make us farther apart. They made us closer together. People have 2 primary psychological needs. We need to be needed, and we need to be known. And here's the thing. So I was just talking to one person. They're kind of moving closer in my world, orbiting my circles that I'll talk about here in a minute. And as they're orbiting my circles, I was telling that person, I said, hey, I remember one time you kind of disappeared for a little bit, and then you came back, and then we got closer together, and she had told me, hey, this one time I got offended at you. You didn't even know you did something. You went and did something with somebody else at my work, and I didn't get invited, and it hurt my feelings, and so I disappeared for a little bit, but I came back. And so I asked them, I said, hey, so we can be closer together. Next time I hurt your feelings, because when you're in proximity, you're going to cut somebody. You're not going to cut them on purpose. You're not going to mean it. It's just going to be an accident. In every friendship, in every relationship, you're going to get hurt. So you just have to know, I want friends, but I'm going to hurt them, and they're going to hurt me. And they're not going to mean it, but what do we do now? So I asked this person, I said, what do we do so you don't guard your heart and walk away? What's our code? What's our language? So that you can look at me or scratch your eyebrow or twitch or be like, hey, that was a 3 of a 10. Like that stung. Like how do we work out our language so that we can be close? What was I doing? I was putting a crack in the door for vulnerability in our relationship. So, well, thank you. Yeah, clap a little, clap a lot. I don't know. Yay, we don't know about vulnerability. We're really scared. There was another situation. Okay, so in these situations, I hadn't done anything wrong. I want to let you know I do stuff wrong all the time, okay? But this is another situation that happened not too long ago, but I remember a situation happened, and I wasn't involved in it at all. I just know the people who were involved in it. And then the person it happened to stopped following me on Instagram. And I was like, oh, man, what happened? Like, I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool. And then I saw this person at an event. And in there a song that goes, she was cold as ice. Jonna, what's that song? What is it? What is it? Foreigner, cold as ice. Okay, Foreigner, cold as ice. I was like, hey. And she goes, hey. And I was like, I didn't do nothing. I didn't even know that it happened. I didn't even know when it happened. I'm like finding out afterwards. But I didn't say anything. I walked away and I couldn't sleep that night. What am I talking about? I'm talking about vulnerability. So the next morning, I'm down in the hotel lobby, because this was at a conference. I'm down in the hotel lobby with my earphone in. I'm on a call, blah, 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 blah. And she's walking out, and she goes, got to catch an Uber, bye. And I'm like, I got to go. I rip my AirPods out. I throw my phone down, and I go, is there any way I could please have 2 minutes of your time? And then my eyes welled up with tears in earnest. And I said, I just want to apologize to you and tell you I am so sorry for what happened. I don't know the details because I wasn't there. But if there's any way I could have tried harder to stop it, if I could have interceded it or intercepted it, or if anything ever happens like that in the future, text me and tell me, girl, your people that hurt me, and I will jump in. I apologize for something I didn't do. And her eyes welled up with tears. And we hugged. And it was hard to apologize for something that I didn't do wrong. And I got a little bit of clapback. I got a little bit of school. I got a little bit of lesson. I just sat there. And I took it. Because I value the relationship. And if our relationship is going to progress, I have to sow vulnerability. Everybody say vulnerability. Y'all clapping for vulnerability now, but I'm here to tell you it is hard. Oh, man. But when it works, it's really cool. Because I got another friend. We just started kind of getting closer, and she was doing a conference in Miami, and she's like, hey, you're only like an hour and a half away. Can you come down and have dinner? I'm like, I really don't have time, but I really want to. And I told my husband, he's like, just go. So I drove down there. We ended up having like a 3 or a 4 hour dinner. We having such a good time. And I left that dinner, and I told her this. I said, I just want to let you know I am a really bad good friend. What does that mean? That means when things are good, I ain't going to text you. I ain't going to send you a joke. I ain't going to be like, hey, girl, what's up? I'm just going to be silent when things are good. I'm not mad at you. I'm not avoiding you. I'm just a really bad good friend. But I am a really good friend when things are bad. So I told her, whenever you need somebody, you can call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. But all old songs today, sorry. And so a few weeks ago, I got a call. I hadn't talked to her in a couple of months. And she said, I didn't know who to call. My husband just walked out, getting ready to preach my first women's conference. And this weekend's our church's anniversary. I don't know what what to do. And I said, girl, you called the right person. Because if you want to scream and me just listen, if you want to dump, you go ahead. If you want advice, you ask me. Whatever you need, I'm here. And we have talked, and we have talked, and we've talked, and I scheduled a trip. I'm going to spend a day with her soon. It doesn't happen if we don't sow vulnerability. I'm here to tell you vulnerability is scary because people will cut you. They'll hold stuff against you. But just because they're an idiot, don't give up on everybody else because we probably know they're an idiot too. So number 1, positivity. Number 2, vulnerability. Number 3, consistency. This is important. This is church right now. This is Romans 10:17. This is faith comes by hearing. So, and then you go, hearing by the word of God. So you're like, oh, there's a church scripture that's telling me to read my Bible. No. That's telling you the story of Joshua and Caleb. What's the story of Joshua and Caleb? Okay, so here's how the story goes. So like the Israelites, they were in Egypt and they were slaves. So Moses, this guy, rises up and leads like 1 million people out of Egypt to the promised land. So they walk all this way to the promised land, and they get there. They have to cross the Red Sea. Pharaoh's chasing them. All this hell is happening. These people are scared because they don't know how to fight. They've been slaves for 400 years. They don't know how to do anything. So they're coming out, and they're like, okay, we're free. There's promised land. There's people in it. We don't know how to fight. They didn't give us swords. They didn't give us spears. We don't know what to do. And Moses said, I'm going to send 12 guys over in the promised land. Check it out. So these 12 guys go. 2 of them are Joshua and Caleb. 10 of them come back. And they say, oh my gosh. I'm here to tell you, if there was one giant, there was 1,000 giants. And if they knew how to fight a little bit, they knew how to fight a lot. And if people like us can never go into a land like that, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. And Joshua and Caleb are like, don't listen to them. I'm here to tell you the grapes were size of a man's head. Look, we brought some back. I'm telling you, the harvest was never so big. The land was never so good. The opportunity was never so great. They can fight a little bit, but God is with us. We can fight a lot. Come on, guys. Let's go live in the promised land. We've been slaves for too long. It's time we're coming out. This is our time. This is our moment. This is our opportunity. Faith comes by. Well, what happened was they heard from 10 people how hard it was going to be. They only heard from 2 people how good it was going to be. So they've been hearing the wrong things. I need to know who's in your circle. And what are they telling you? Because I got some crazy friends. Has anybody else got a friend who is showing you TikToks about aliens? Somebody sent me a TikTok the other day. Look, Bigfoot is real, caught on camera. Are y'all kidding me right now? God told us about Earth. He didn't tell us about life on other planets. Come on, he would have put that in the book. He'd have been like, look out for the crazy UFO guys that are green. Right? So we have to watch who we're talking about, because if we have people who are all uptight about race, we're going to end up uptight about race. If we got friends who are all uptight about politics, can I say these kinds of words in church? We're going to get all twisted up about politics. If we have people who are all uptight about, I don't like what's happening in this city, I don't like what's happening at work, I don't like the boss, honey, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Because humans are creatures of conformity. So what we're around, we will be like. So statistics say, if you're the 10th friend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's y'all stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Y'all 10 stand up. If 9 of y'all are drug addicts, if y'all 9 are drug addicts, guess what's happening to her? She's going to become a... If 9 of y'all are like in the mastermind, like Nicole's in the mastermind, Angie's in the mastermind, Chanel's in the mastermind, if you're lifter up of people, if you're helping people dream, if you speaking to people live, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pretend she was a Karen. She gets around these people, guess what she's gonna be? She's gonna lift people up. She's gonna start speaking to their dreams. She's gonna start giving people life. But if she's a life giver and we got 9 Karens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, guess what she's gonna become? She's gonna become a... So you are, thanks guys, you are who you hang around. You gotta have the right people around us. And that's why I have the circle of friends. Because I am fostering connectivity. I am fostering people who believe in women. I am fostering people who say, I might not be able to, but you go, girl. I'm fostering people who say, hey, now it's my time, and we'll say, you go, girl. I'm fostering people who say, I know what I know, but I want to know more. I'm not ready to stop here. I'm fostering people who say, I need more opportunity, and I need an open door so I can walk through it, and we're doing that. Because when you have the right people around you, so David and I, I kind of went through this weird situation, so we were praying about it, and it was on our hearts, and this guy, who's a friend, sends David a verse from the Bible and puts like LSU and Alabama in the verse as 2 football teams who are opposing each other, and it's about, your enemies will not rise up against you, and God will take care of Alabama, and it was a joke. But as he read it out loud, my ears perked up, his ears perked up, and he goes, this is a word from the Lord for us. And I said, yes, sir, it is. And he said, I wish it wouldn't have come in the form of a joke. And I said, I'm awfully glad it did, because it let me know that the enemy is a joke. You got to have the right people around you, amen? So our first 3 things is 3 things that make people friends: consistency, proximity, and commonality. Number 2 is 3 ways to make a friend: positivity, vulnerability, and consistency. Last thing is the 3 levels of friendship. You guys liking this? I know it's super practical. Like we can like preach with an organ here. Does anybody need an organ preach real quick? Are we good? Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm on a mission tonight. I'm on a mission to get you connected. I'm on a mission to get you out of lonely and into happy. I'm on a mission to help you get your heart guard down and let people in. I'm on a mission to get you connected to the right people, to get you to the right place that God has called you to. We got places to go. This is practical. Everybody say, I'm going. So we got 3 levels of friendship. This one's going to tell you who to cultivate and who to cut. Because there's only 24 hours a day, and you can't be friends with everybody. So the question is, who's your ride or die? And who, if the going gets tough, they got to get going. And so the example from the word out of this is Jesus. Right? Jesus had the 70. That's one circle. These people followed him around quite a bit. We call them the crowd. They had the 12. He talked to them a lot. He mentored them. They went almost everywhere with him. They were his colleague. And then he had the 3. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. So notice, though, that Judas, the guy who betrayed Jesus, he was in the 12, but he wasn't in the 3. So there are some places that people can't go. People who can't grow with you can't go with you. That's why it's okay that some of your friends from high school aren't your friend today. That's why it's okay that some of your friends from your first job aren't here today. Because these are concentric circles. I don't know, did we by chance put those circles together? We thought about maybe making a circle side. I don't know if we had time to pull that off or not. Nope, it's a circle, like a round circle. And if you're gonna make my face that big, we need to get me more Botox. Okay. So the crowd, man, they are not your ride or die. They are not the people who are with you. Matter of fact, they don't want to do something for you, they want something from you. They're the people that you meet them, they're not for what you're for. They're not for you. Our commonality is more often they're against what we're against. They want to know, what can you do for me? If you can't do anything for me, please move along. You're taking up my time. These people, they aren't going to help you. So there's these 3 women. Their names are Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. So Naomi is the mother-in-law. She's got these 2 daughter-in-laws, Orpah and Ruth. All 3 husbands pass away. Naomi, honestly, I mean, who can blame her, was like, I don't know what to do. I'm out of juice. I can't fix this. I don't know what to do. She starts freaking out. So she looks at her daughter-in-laws and says, you can go back to your families. I won't blame you. I won't be mad at you. Things are tough. There's a famine in the land. I don't know how to do this. And Ruth said no. But Orpah was the crowd. She said, things got tough. I got to go, baby. Peace out. Thanks for the release. It's been good knowing you. I loved being in your family. I loved eating your food. I love that you love me like a daughter, but now that you can't give me anymore. She walked away. Everybody say, that's the crowd. That's the crowd. Then there's the colleague. What's a colleague? In that relationship, Naomi is the colleague. I love going to Europe on vacation. We went to Europe on vacation, and you go, and they speak English, but they speak in a different language, so it always has like an accent. I think I made this one up. I don't know what country I am from right now. But if you ever run into a challenge at a restaurant or a hotel in the made-up country that I am right now, they say, I don't know the answer. Let me ask my colleague. I'm like, why don't we use the word colleague? The word colleague is amazing. But the colleague is what someone is when they're not against what you're against necessarily. They're not for you necessarily, but they're kind of for what you're for. It's kind of that commonality. It's because you're both showing up at the baseball games for your kids. It's because you're around and they're around. They're not really there to take from you, but they're not there to do anything for you. Right? You're side by side. You're walking the same direction, but you're not walking together. Do you see the difference? So I had a colleague, and my colleague got into a tough spot. So she called me and she said, hey, you've been doing the things and you've been doing this job. I'm in a tough spot. And so she asked me a bunch of questions. And I had walked through a similar situation before, so I started telling her, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. And it worked. And she said, oh, thank you so much. She hung up the phone, and then I heard through the grapevine, she did exactly the opposite. It's like, dang it. The problem was I knew how that would end up. So a colleague is not necessarily going to listen to you. Naomi, she was the colleague. She got bitter. She wasn't positive. She wasn't bringing anything to the relationship. She was kind of there to almost hang on to Ruth. But Ruth said, I'm going with you. I'm going to be with you. So then it comes down to those companions. Greater love has no one than this, than he laid down his life for his friends. So Chrissy and Nia, Ree, Chanel, Angie, Nicole, Ashley, Jaden, Emily. Would you guys come up? Katrina, Courtney, Jonna, Tracy. You know, there's a quote that says, one good friend is worth 10,000 relatives. But the thing is, these are some people that I know would do crazy things for me. Where's Tara at? Tara, you need to get up here. Tara, I know Tara's in this crew. Would you guys just kind of get around me for a minute? Because, like, Tara, where's Tracy at? Tracy, we needed a vehicle in Nashville. We were in St. Louis. So she drove from St. Louis to Nashville to get a vehicle, turned around the next day, picked up some stuff, and brought it back to the church just because we needed it. That's the kind, just get in a circle around me. That's the kind of friend Tracy is. And Courtney and I are such close friends. Usually we dress in the same clothes without talking to each other. Like, we just know each other so well. And like Katrina, if you want to mess with me.
That's right. That is true. That is true.
And Katrina's in the room, I'm not even sweating it because Katrina is gonna
Kick butt, honestly.
and Chrissy, I can call Chrissy at 10 o'clock at night and she is gonna answer her phone no matter what happens. Jonna is my positive friend. I'm gonna get in the car with her. She's gonna drive for 6 hours. I'm gonna say nothing. She's gonna say everything. She's gonna drive slightly over the speed limit, which is the way I like it. And she's gonna make sure we don't get lost. Like, we know our relationship. That's like Ree. If Ree and I are going to a conference together, who's driving?
Me.
Like, wait, like this is my girl. We've been all over the world together doing things. Chanel, she came into my mastermind, and we got to know each other so well in this group and how we are. We're being vulnerable. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to say any vulnerable things right now. And like Nia, I met her at a women's conference when she came from Chicago when her pastors were retiring. We started pulling her into the fold, and now she pastors the Ferguson Florissant campus as one of the only single female pastors in America, besides Ree. Because they're amazing. And Nicole's in a mastermind with me where we got crazy vulnerable.
All the time.
And I brought a picture. If multimedia has a picture, the way these girls roll is one of the girls in our mastermind, she almost died. She was in Florida. So what the mastermind group did, I don't know if they can see it. Can you put it on the side screens for us? Because I don't think they can see it on the center screen. So we had a mastermind immersive in Miami. That girl was about 2 hours away, and we had a really packed schedule. So they stayed up late. They got in a car. They drove 2 hours. They went and they visited Cynthia. They loved on her. They prayed for her. They made all the difference in the world in her life. They got in a car. They drove 2 hours back, 4 hours on the road for an hour-long visit. That's an inner circle. So now I want you guys to come close. Julie, you need to be up in this circle, girl. We've been together for almost 20 years. You're going to have to take your headset off and come on up here. So before, when everything was packed in around, I want you guys to pack in around me. And I want you to put your back to me. Now, let's see. Let's Melania from South Dakota, since you drove all the way from South Dakota, can you come up here for 1 second? Okay. We're going to pretend that Melania is the devil. We're going to pretend she is not. She drove from South Dakota just to be here in the room at I Am Woman. Can you guys give a hand to Melania? Now, my inner circle, my companions, don't let the devil get me. Okay, Melania, try and get me. Come on, I'm just waiting here. Just come on, devil. I'm inviting you. Come on in. No? I'm just here to tell you, when you have the right friends around you, not even the devil can get to you like he wants to get to you. Thank you, guys. Because when you have the right people around you, you have a prayer barrier, you have a faith barrier, you have people praying for you, you have a life that you would have never had before. I'm telling you right now, investing in relationships can cost you, but the returns that you get are so amazing. Can somebody give God a hand clap?
Hey, thank you for watching Faith Church on YouTube, and I want you to subscribe so you can know whenever we go live and post new content. You can also comment below and let us know if the message spoke to you. When you're watching, also know that we want to pray for you. We want to know what's going on in your world, so you can comment below and we'll pray for you. Thanks again for watching on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.